Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this guy. So the new Earthrise line is finally here. After impatiently waiting for months, I was able to grab my first figure in this line. So how does it stack up? Well, let's find out. Hey guys, this is Friendly Neighborhood TFG, also known as the Champ from Gundam, and welcome back to my first Earthrise review. Today I will be looking at the Earthrise Autobot Wheeljack. So I did think about actually making a script for this guy because I have a lot to say, but I'm just going to do what I do best and freestyle it. So here's a quick look at the packaging. I've actually already showed it off, so go check out my unboxing if you haven't already, but here's just a quick look of it again if you haven't seen it. Here's that really nice artwork on the side of Wheeljack. On the other side has the new Earthrise artwork, which looks great as always, and here's the back of the box. And also one thing I didn't show off is the little decoder thing. So switching this view, this was actually the insert that was on the inside of the box. If we take this decoder and put it over the right area, you can see it reveals a word that says Anpilla. I'm sure that's a reference to something, but I don't really know. And I'm sure you can find other secrets with this, but I don't really know or care. But I guess this is kind of cool. So yeah, let's get this out of the way and let's bring in Wheeljack. So here is the brand new deluxe class Earthrise Wheeljack in his robot mode. And I gotta say, this is an almost perfect representation of old Jackie Boy himself. This figure really just nails the aesthetic of G1 Wheeljack, especially taking a close look at that head sculpt. It looks almost perfect, spot on. As you can see, I will pull up a picture to compare the actual animation face to this head sculpt, and man, they just nailed it. It looks so good. One thing though with mine is that you probably can't see, but there is a couple of black specks on the actual faceplate, but besides that, man, I am in love with that face sculpt. It looks really good. Besides that, the rest of the proportions look pretty spot on to me. There is a little bit of kibble, of course. You can see his wheels kind of sticking out there on the arms. Besides that, he has his blocky feet, which I'm pretty sure is animation accurate. Again, I'll pull up a picture so you can kind of compare, so you can kind of see how the figure looks compared to the G1 animation. Taking a look here at the side, as you can see, he's got a pretty slender profile, not really too much of a backpack. And speaking of backpacks, yeah, his back does kind of stick out a little too much here. But even like, I couldn't really find a backside of the actual animated Wheeljack to compare it to. But if you actually look at the back of this figure compared to the masterpieces, while the masterpiece does look a bit cleaner, it is fairly close to each other. And also, these wings are way too small on this figure compared to the masterpiece, and how the wings are on the actual animation model. But yeah, besides that, this figure looks really good, and it just really nails how Wheeljack looks, in my opinion. So taking a closer look here, you can see on the chest we got this really nice Autobot logo. I love the red and white, looks really good. You don't really get too much green showing through in the robot mode. It really does show through in the alt mode, but you get a little bit of green here and red for the feet, which looks great. And here we get to see some of the really cool decals that they put on in the car mode. The car mode just has a lot of cool little details, and it just looks really awesome. And I'll be sure to point those out, but you can kind of see a little bit of it here in the robot mode, like the 638 and a couple of other things that I won't spoil until we get into the actual car mode. The back we got the this, it says arrow bolt, and it says something in Japanese. Again, really nice color separation of the green, white, and red. It looks really good on the back here. We get some nice, it's like a burnt orangish kind of color for the wheels. For the for the wheels, I guess you can call that. Black for the tires, of course, and other side we get some nice color separation for the actual hands. Some really nice small Autobot logos there, which turned out really good. And so now let's get into the articulation for this guy. And honestly, it's pretty good, especially for a deluxe class figure. So getting into the articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so it can move or rotate a full 360, but it's kind of tight. But it is possible to do so. As you can see there, it can go up and down, of course. Hopefully you can see that, but a problem is that the head for transformation goes down into the chest, so it has a tendency of kind of popping out of the actual hinge, so you can kind of see that there. I think Siege Megatron had a similar problem to that, so it kind of has a little bit like a chicken head there, but it's honestly not too bad on this figure. The arms can of course rotate a full 360. All of the joints on this guy are super tight, as you will see. They can go out that much, so really good range of motion there, but that's more so for the transformation. So you can go out that much, in about that much, so not really too much in. A wide range of motion going out. There is rotation right here, so you can see this part rotates. Of course, the elbow bends about 90 degrees there, as you can see. Yeah, that looks about right. It's about 90-degree bend. The wrist can rotate, so that's really nice. The waist is also on a swivel, so it can swivel all the way around. The legs can go out this much, and the legs on mine were really extremely tight. Oh, another thing to note is that there's a little bit of gappiness in the legs. I don't know if that would really bother people, but it doesn't really bother me too much, especially since you're mostly going to be looking at him like this, so you won't really be seeing the gaps unless you like move the legs up like that. But yeah, this joint was extremely tight tighter on this leg than on this leg. But as you can see, you can go out this much and back that much. It can go out that much, so you can get really good splits going there. So that's good. Of course, you get a rotation right here at the thigh, so that can rotate. The leg bend is, again, that's about a 90 degrees, so pretty standard there. And for the feet, it can go up and down, but that's more so for transformation. And there is a hinge in here, so this can kind of move separately, and then there's another hinge in there, so you can get a little more range, but again, that's more relevant for transformation. So that's about it for the articulation for this guy. And as I said, it's about on par on what you should expect for figures from the Earthrise and Siege line. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is that these also move in and out like so. So you can flap his pretty little butterfly wings. But anyways, yeah, these move in and out, but that's more relevant for the transformation. But that's just one more thing to note there. So get that in the right position. And yeah, as I said, pretty standard articulation. Not bad, and you can get some pretty nice, decent action poses out of this guy. So now let's get into the accessories. And well, wondering what he comes with, well, you're looking at it. Here is his one accessory, which is his little arm cannon thing. Would have been cool if he came with like a wrench or something, since I'm pretty sure this guy is the what do you call it? I guess weapons expert, or the guy that, you know, would always experiment trying to make new weapons and stuff. I haven't actually seen G1 or just Transformers G1, the original cartoon, but I have seen a little bit of clips of this guy, and I did watch Prime, which I think Wheeljack actually was a wrecker in Transformers Prime. I don't know if he was originally a wrecker to begin with. So the Transformers Prime Wheeljack may differ slightly from actual old school G1 Wheeljack here. But all I know is that he created Dinobots, and he also experimented with creating weapons. So it would have been cool if he came with like a wrench or something, as I said. But you get this, which can also be held as an actual gun. So as you can see, there's a white peg that can plug into his hand, like that. So you can get him, holding a little pistol, or if you wanted to, since this is a Earthrise and or Siege figure, or I guess a what do you call it? A continuation of Siege. They have all these little ports, so you can plug this in here if you wanted to. So you can have a little wrist gun, something like that. So that's kind of cool. You can also plug it in the back, plug it something like that if you wanted to, or you can plug it in any of these ports in the legs. So like that, or you can. I think that's about it for ports, actually. Wait, no, one more dumb thing you can do is you can actually plug it right here at the bottom of the foot. So I don't know, just a lot of playability options, but in the actual G1 cartoon, he actually just had it mounted on his shoulder like that. So that is it for the accessories. Now let's get into some size comparison and get into the dreaded transformation. Oh boy. So here's Wheeljack compared to Combiner Wars Mirage. So you can kind of see the height difference there. There he is with Classics Bumblebee, and I think these two figures look great together. One thing to note is that Wheeljack's gun actually works for Bumblebee, and I think it actually looks really good for a small little pistol that Bumblebee would actually use. And that's cool considering that I don't think the Classics Bumblebee actually came with any weapons. So that's something cool that you can do. And finally, here is Earthrise Wheeljack compared to Siege Shockwave. And my god, these figures look so good together. The scaling is just perfect. As you can see, leader class compared to a deluxe class, you can really see the size difference. And I'm pretty sure Shockwave was always a lot taller than Wheeljack to begin with. And yeah, these two just look really good, and they just make me want to get more of the Siege and Earthrise figures in my collection. But yeah, that's it for comparisons. And also one more thing that you can do, since Earthrise and Siege are actually compatible with each other, you can give Wheeljack all of Shockwave's extra add-on parts. And I don't know, somehow I think this is somewhat fitting for Wheeljack. Oh boy, it's time for the moment I've been dreading the most with this guy, and that is transformation. Not to say that this transformation is hard, but it is extremely frustrating with this figure, or at least with my copy, and you will see why as I get into it. So, to start off, let's just take off the actual cannon on the top here. So, what I like to do is start on the arms. Okay, so first we're going to take these arms and bring them up. As you can see, there is a double hinge, so you're going to hinge these up like that. So they are facing up like so. And don't worry about them being perfect or anything, we will fix that later. So next what you're going to do is take this arm, twist it this way. So now the wheel is facing this way. So do the same thing to the other side. Like so. So now their wheels are facing this way. And next what we're going to do here is take the wrist and rotate it. So now the actual design is facing the wheel side. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. And it should look something like that. Now we're going to come to the front here, take this chest piece, and this is going to tab down. It's on 2 hinges, so it's just going to hinge up and down like so. And you're going to take this head and rotate it in like that. So now what you're going to do here is grab onto this part and rotate this whole thing this way. So now this side is going to be facing this side like so, and you should get this to line up perfectly with the back side of the robot, which is now the front side of the car. So now what we're going to do is come back to these arms here, and you're going to, here, let me see if I can get this up here, but you're going to want to get this, the hinge that I already mentioned earlier, and hinge it all the way like that. And as you can see here, or maybe not see, if I can, okay, here we go. See, there's a hole right there, and you can maybe see that little tab right there. So what you want to do, which is easier said than done, especially on my copy, is try to get that little tab to line up with that hole. So usually for me, it's pretty easy for me to do on one side, but with the other side, it's extremely frustrating. I always feel like I'm about to break the figure. So let's see if I can do this on camera without losing my mind. Okay, I think this side is in. So now for the other side, again, take this hinge, try to hinge, and you're gonna want to try to match this part, these parts up. This is going to form the back of the vehicle, and what we're going to do is try to push this in. You're really gonna have to put a lot of pressure to get the tab to line up with the hole, and I am always nervous when I'm doing this because I feel like I'm going to break something, but just gonna have to really go at it. I know in a lot of other reviews I've seen for this guy, other reviews didn't seem to have a problem with this step, so it could just be my figure. And as you can maybe here, it did snap into place, so that means it should be good, except now there is a little bit of a gap in there, but I'm going to assume that's good. Okay, so we got that step out of the way, so that's good. Next we're going to take these arms and we're going to move them forward like so, and there is another tab sticking up there. There is a hole that right there on the bottom side of the arm. You're going to match those up and tab them in. So that is just going to tab in, and you should hear it snap into place like so. Do the same thing to the other side. Get that tab in, and there we go. So now you can see this part is nice and flush. Same with the other side. Let's go to the top part here and get these to rotate. So this is going to rotate this way like that. And you want to do the same thing to the other side. So get this to rotate and try to get these to match up the best they can. It's not going to be perfect, and there's going to be a little gap in there, but just try to get it to match up. And on mine, that seems to be the best I can do. All right, so now we get to the extremely frustrating part, and that is dealing with these legs. So what I like to do first is kind of get these legs to go out like this to get it out of the way of the actual windshield here. So first what you want to do is come down to the feet, and this is just going to bend down like so. And as I was talking about with the two hinges, is just gonna kind of do an auto morph, it kind of just clicks into place. You probably didn't hear that, but this little tab will line up perfectly with this little groove in there. And here, if I do on this side, maybe you can kind of see that. So just pull this down, and you can hear it click into place like so. So that's really cool. Now coming to the front here, similar to Earthrise Shockwave, these legs are going to collapse out and in. So you're going to lift up here at the leg. So lift that part up, and while you're doing that, you want to come here to the other windshield part and lift this part out like that. So now you can bring this in, and while you're doing that, you need to try to line up the windshield with, here, let me get this out so you can see there's a little gap in there, and this little windshield part should fit perfectly in that gap. So you just kind of clip that in, and there you go. So it should look like that. And earlier I was also having trouble with, since, I don't know if you can see, probably not, but here, if you went out here, this is just literally clipped in, and the first time I transformed it, this part actually just completely fell off, so I had to literally just push it back in. It's not a big deal because it didn't break or anything, but it still is kind of annoying that the actual windshield part can just kind of clip off. I think it was on this side actually, so it's a good thing that it didn't fall out. This side's actually pretty secure. But that's just another thing to know, that the little windshield part might fall off over time. So try not to lose those, but you're gonna want to do the same thing that you did on this side. So just get this, collapse this out and in, and at the same time you're gonna move this windshield part out like so. Trying to move these legs, and hopefully you can see this on camera. So you can just get that into position, and this is the step where everything starts to kind of fall apart, as you can see. Because once these legs collapse in, you're gonna have to want to try to line them up with the rest of the body, and it gets really annoying. This part likes to just pop up like so. These don't like to stay together at all, and it's just a pain in the butt to try to get everything to line up perfectly with each other. And I was only able to actually do that once, and that was right before I filmed this video. So you want to just kind of want to try to push this in, try to position everything right here. And let me see, this might be easier to do off camera, but okay, so once you kind of get these together like that, this is not wanting to stay together, because the frustrating part is this part is supposed to push into the leg, and this part, the windshield part, is supposed to go out, so it kind of fills that little gap in there, but it doesn't like to do that without you really forcing it. And you just have to really fiddle around with this to get everything right, and it's not really fun or enjoyable at all, to say the least, without everything shifting around. And this is just okay, there we go. So once you do that, there's a little tab there that should plug into that hole there, so you're going to try to line these up and get it tabbed into place like that, and try to get these windshields to line up. And let me see if I can. God, this is, you can see my pain now. This is just really annoying, because now look, now you probably can't see that, but there, hey, okay, look, you can see it there. These are not going to line up perfectly. This is overlapping this part, and you can try to push them down, or there you go, and tab that and try to get that gap to close, but it's extremely hard. Now there's a big gap in between there, and then in this part you want to try to push back in, and when you do that, it just untabs everything else, and well, you get the idea. This is how the car is supposed to look. But you can just see how frustrating it is to try to get everything to line up perfectly well. And it seems to just be on my figure, because on all the other reviews that I've seen, everybody was able to line everything up just fine, get it all tabbed in, and get a nice looking car mode. You know, I'm stuck with this thing, and yeah, you see my pain now. But I'm going to try to transform it the rest of the way off camera, because it's a lot easier to do off camera. And I'll get back to you once we get an actual car mode, and not half a car mode, or whatever this is. After a bit of fiddling, I was actually able to finally get it into the car mode, and it actually took me a lot quicker than I thought. So I don't know, maybe I'm just being too impatient with this figure. But the hardest part is just trying to get these legs together, and at the same time you're gonna have to try to match these arm up perfectly. You can kind of see there's kind of like a puzzle piece, honestly, because this is supposed to line up perfectly there. You can kind of see the little gap, and it's extremely hard to get one side in and then try to line the other side up as well, and then try to keep this part from going up, like as you saw earlier. And same with these, I couldn't get them to perfectly go flush with each other, and there's a pretty noticeable gap. But this is honestly the best I was able to do. And there's also a gap in between there. I don't think there's really much you can do about that. But besides that, I have to say, this is a really, really cool race car. Like, I love how this thing looks, and there's just a ton of detail. As I was saying, the gray and red just really pops out more on the car mode. You get a lot of cool little details here. So you can see it says like modulator, it says like it's wanting to focus, it says just like a lot of small text like in VIN zone, and just a bunch of cool like sponsorship stickers and stuff. Like this was an actual race car. It says like TronCon, Praxis, a lot of small stuff I can't really read. Oh, there you go. It's kind of focusing there. It says like Wheeljack right there. That's a really cool thing I never noticed. It says Wheeljack. Some more like logos and sponsors. I'm pretty sure that's Japanese, or it could be Cybertronian. I honestly don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese. And there it says Swerve. I almost thought for a second that said Supreme, because it looks like it's the kind of looks like the Supreme logo there. You get an Autobot logo there. You get the Aerobolt there. Also on the top here it says Aerobolt. That's cool. I really love the red and green stripes going down the backside of the car. Looks really cool. Of course, you get the clean Autobot logo that was from the chest plate. Some really nice green and red stripes going down to the front of the car here. Get some nice black here in the front. Not really any headlights, but still some really nice details nonetheless. And on the other side, we get some just really cool details. I'm pretty sure it's just all the same stuff as on the previous slide I just showed you, but it says like the VIN zone, Wheeljack, modulators, the 638s, all the sponsorship logos, the Autobot. It's just, I just love this part of the car. It's just, man, I just love all the attention to detail that Hasbro and Takara put into this figure. And finally, getting to the back, we get some nice little engine. I'm sure if you have like any flame effects or like lasers from the previous Siege line, you can plug them into there. So it kind of looks like it's like taking off, or like yeah, I don't really know anything about cars, but like Nitro or something, it's like little flames or something coming out as he's like speeding. So that's something cool that you can do. And yeah, I can't stop gushing about this car mode enough. It looks awesome. It's just the transformation was a pain in the ass to get there. Excuse my language, but it really was just a pain in the ass and not fun or enjoyable at all. I will say the engineering on it is pretty ingenious, because you get this really clean looking car mode. Even the underside isn't too bad. I mean, minus the head there, but the underside is nice and clean as well. It's just, man, it's probably the most frustrating transformation I've ever done. But the results were completely worth it. It can roll, kind of, not great, but you can kind of see the wheels turning there a little bit. And yeah, what else can you say about this mode? It looks really good. Yeah, before I forget, let's do some more size comparisons, this time in the alt mode. So here he is compared to a fellow race car buddy. Here he is next to the Combiner Wars Mirage. And man, I love how both of these two transform into these really cool, really different looking race cars. And man, they just look really, really good together. As you can see, of course, Mirage is a bit longer than Wheeljack, but Wheeljack is a bit wider, I think, or they actually might be the same width-wise, but Wheeljack definitely looks a little bit wider or more filled out, which makes more sense considering these are two different types of race cars. I'm pretty sure this is a Formula One. I I don't know. I don't really know anything about cars, so I don't want to say any false information. But yeah, these look really good in their alt modes. They look like they would be, as I said, like racing buddies, or they would race each other. I mean, I don't know if they ever actually did in the cartoon, probably not. But there's that. So here he is compared to Classics Bumblebee, and man, I can't stop saying this, but I love how these guys look together. But although seeing these two side by side, it just makes me want a Earthrise Bumblebee even more. Hopefully, Hasbro will be smart and re-release Cliffjumper as Bumblebee, but I think at this point it's a given. But still, these two figures look really great. And bringing back in Mirage here, just all three of these guys look really, really good together. And it's nice to see that I'm finally starting to grow a small collection of Autobots. So yeah, there's your comparisons there with the two Autobots that I have. And here he is compared to Leader Class Shockwave. So since transforming this guy back into robot mode is actually pretty quick and easy, I figured I would quickly show you how to do that. So to begin, let's start by untapping the arms here. And since everything here is such a tight gap, you're really gonna have to try to put some force to get everything to come undone. So get that to untap like so. Do the same thing to the other side. So really, as you can just kind of see how tight of a fit everything is, just to get everything untabbed. It actually might be easier to just start with the legs. So actually, let's do that. So just gonna split these and bring this part back up and out. Like that. Okay, while you're doing that, you want to twist this part back in, and then you're gonna want to fill it all the way back, so like that. So that's how the legs should look now. Bring the feet and just put it back into place to how it was. Now you want to try to do the same thing to the other side. So just take this. There we go. Okay, finally. So take the inside part, put it back in, and there you go. You see what I'm talking about. This part just came undone. So you just want to take this, and you can kind of just see how it attaches in there. So this little ring section just fits into there like so. Okay, so now it's back into place. So now just do that and that. And then get the feet, pull them back up to how they were. Now let's just rotate this whole section, and that's cool. And everything that just fell apart. You can just see the quality control issues that I have with this guy. And this is the first figure I ever had that has had this bad of quality control. I really hope this is not a common trend with the new Earthrise figures, because this guy, the Siege Shockwave, was great. I had no issues whatsoever with this guy. And honestly, I didn't really hear too many issues with any of the Siege figures, besides actually Siege Starscream with the pin and the chest. Besides that, there wasn't really any known QC issues that I saw from, you know, watching reviews on any of the Siege figures. But this is just bad. Anyways, let's just go back to quickly getting this done. As I said, it's not hard. It's just really annoying. So you want to tab the arms and bring them back out like this, and then just get them back into place. Make sure the legs are nice and clicked into place. Come back here. This is, you're going to want to twist this way like that. You want to come back to the arms here. Might as well do this. rotate it so the black section is facing out. Take the hands, rotate those back into place. So now the arm's like this. Do the same thing to the other side. So the arm is now facing that way. And then take the wrist, rotate it. So now the arms are both in the correct position. Bring the head, lift it up, and then finally let's just fill the gap in with this part. So this just looks like it's going to tab back into there, hopefully without any issues or anything else breaking. There we go. So that was easy enough. So now this is on a double hinge. So let's bring this back up, and there is 2 holes there. There's 2 pegs that you probably can't see, right there and right there, and just tab that back into place. And now let's just reposition the arms. And now we have Wheeljack back in his robot mode.
Where are the Autobots?
Right behind you, Shockwave.
And we brought a present. Huh? Where? What am I doing?
So final thoughts on this guy. I really want to like this figure. And do I hate this figure? Absolutely not. I think they nailed the look and really just captured the G1 aesthetic of this figure. And I really love how he looks in both robot mode and alt mode. The articulation is pretty decent, pretty standard for a deluxe size figure. It's just the transformation is, you saw, just extremely frustrating. And it's mostly due to some really bad noticeable quality control issues. It seems that only my figure has, and none of the other figures, or at least any other reviewers that I've seen, has had any of the issues that mine has had. And it just really kind of worries me for the future of Earthrise. I've heard Grapple has issues with breakage, and I just really hope this isn't a common trend with this new line of figures. Siege seemed to be great with very little to no quality control issues at all. It's just, we've seen now with 2 Earthrise figures, this one, for my copy, in several cases of grapple breaking. I just really hope that Takara and Hasbro get their stuff together and really work on their quality control, because this is bad. I don't know if I'm just being too harsh on this figure or I'm just tired, but it's frustrating. That's the best thing, or best way to sum up this whole figure is it is frustrating. For a Transformer, the transformation is supposed to be fun. That's the main point of the toy, is that it transforms. And so most of the fun comes from actually transforming it. But if the transformation is not fun, then the whole value of the toy kind of goes down, in my opinion. But overall, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best words. I think this is a good figure. I would recommend it. Just be careful. Try to not, there's no way to tell if you're going to get a bad copy, but I don't know, I guess buy with caution. That's the best thing I can say about this guy. I don't know, the pros are he looks great, articulation's pretty decent. The cons, transformation and just parts falling off. I haven't had anything break on me, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of just at a loss. So let me just end the video here. That's about it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the Transform Gundam, signing out.